book brought me here.
So true.
So I think, just to be a little chronological and to also give people the way one segues into the other, let's start by talking about your first book. Or maybe, the whole idea about writing. Were you always a writer? Did it come upon you quite suddenly? Did it come upon you? You're a very spontaneous person. And also when you put your focus on something or your finger on something, it's because you want to do it. Or you want that thing to happen.
I realized one thing: you really don't have to meet someone every day for them to know you that well. Thank you for knowing me that well. Yes, I am spontaneous. My decisions are always very impulsive, but yeah, they're straight from the heart. And as far as my being a writer is concerned, I come from a family of doctors, and my mother used to write. She used to write poetry, prose. I think it was a catharsis for her because we used to live in a very small town where she was a doctor. She didn't have many friends, so she was a single mother, and just me and my brother, two kids, and she used to write and keep them. And so I used to see her write. She used to sometimes recite her things to me. I think somewhere I took that with me. So in school I used to definitely, the teachers used to say, find that girl, get her to write a story. And in college as well. So when I joined the industry, I started writing for newspapers, my weekly columns, people who just had a mark on me somewhere, some incident, some anecdote. And I used to just do it just as a hobby, but my editor started calling me and said, listen, why are you not writing these days? I said, I'm shooting. She said, no, I'm getting a feedback, you better write. So that kind of became a regular column for me. And my biggest fear again was losing this best friend of mine, that was my mother. And I think when that day really came, all I was filled in was not fear that I was fearing every time, but gratitude for her. But for her, I think I wouldn't have been who I am today. The high of having a parent who really believes in your dreams, who stands by you unconditionally, who is your best friend, who's not judging you for what you're doing. And she was that for me. She was my best friend. I never felt guilty of having made any mistake or blunder, saying, Mummy, Dadi ki, never. And when I told her I want to be an actor, she said, if that be so, this is the life I wanted to lead as an actor, acting, working on the sets, making movies, and every day goes of gratitude. So this book came out of that. Suddenly the title came to me, as you said, Me and Ma, what better could it be, Me and Ma. And I just called up Penguin and said, I want to write this book, and immediately they agreed. And they gave me 6 months time, and out of which 5 months I think I was in depression, I didn't write. 1 month I had, and I said, either I write it now, or that's the end of another dream that I want to, write about her. And that 1 month, I think I wrote rigorously, straight from the heart, and the power of the subconscious really surprised me. Incidents from when I was 3, when I was 4, when I was 5 were just coming out, and it just flowed. And the magic this book had with the readers was amazing. I've had at the airport, I had this girl just coming and jumping up on me and saying, thank you. I said, what happened? I thought maybe she liked the role or something. She said, no, I read your book, and my mother, somebody I take so for granted. Mama, baad mein karna baat. Mummy, baad mein baat karti hu. Rakh do, I'm busy. She said, I just told my mother, stay put, I'm coming to give you a big hug. So thank you. So I was never called a one-book wonder. Ek actor ne ek kitab likh di ho gaya. So I was asked, what is your next book? And so I was thinking, what is it that I'm most passionate about? And it was the world of movies. And I wanted to thank a lot of people who've been a part of this beautiful, amazing journey that I've had. So their anecdotes, how I have loved their work, how I worked with them, how I had my bonds with them, and all that. So I think there's Gulzar Saab, there's Javed Saab, Shabana Ji, Sham Benikal, Rishikesh Mukherjee, even though I haven't worked with him. But a little anecdote about him that will always stay with me. Shah Rukh, Salman, there's so many. For me, as a 4-year-old, I remember having watched him on the screen, tearing my mother's saris and dupattas and dancing on his songs and inviting my neighborhood children and telling them come and watch me, and my mother shall give you the samosas and the rasagollas, and if you really applaud loudly, then you will also get ruafza. So I liked to be on stage, and I loved this man who was there on the big screen, and I said, I want to belong to this world. I want to be right next to him. And somewhere, I think when you really dream hard, the universe somewhere conspires. And I got selected in this competition, which isn't an academy as such, but it was a film magazine which just had a talent hunt, and it took me from a small town in Punjab, where everyone was thinking we'll put her in the civil services, to Mumbai, where I really wanted to belong. And I was always looking for this opportunity to meet Mr. Bachchan. And my first film with him was Bagban. I don't know how many of you have seen Bagban. But I think that film is a subject which is relevant even today, even though it was one of my first films. But I played a very mean Bahu in that, and I was so excited about doing a part with Mr. Bachchan that every day it would be, good morning sir, and he was really amused by my chirpiness and my excitement about working with him. I'm sure he was used to it. But gradually playing a mean woman, I think kind of got on to me, and one day I just came home and I burst out. And my mother said, what, you didn't, aaj kaam acha nahi hua? So I said, no mama, it was nice, but I didn't know what had gone wrong. The next day when I went to shoot, it was a very sulking good morning to Mr. Bachchan. I was like, good morning sir. So that day I think he realized what was wrong with me. He said, come here. He said, I'm playing a helpless person and you are being very mean to me. And suddenly the first lines that came out of me were, but sir, this is a film and I'm just speaking my dialogues. And there was silence. And this is exactly, I think he made me realize the point without even saying anything. I just was so amazed by a superstar, a mega star, who really didn't have to be that sensitive to a newcomer, that today her good morning was different, to do something about it. 3, I think he taught me the magic of detaching yourself from a role when you go back home. And I think my bond with him just grew stronger. In fact, this book, he launched my first book, and Stars in My Sky, the foreword is by him. It just feels amazing that, it's been a full circle for me, that you dream of something and then all you do is be grateful for this.